Okay, here we are. We're going to finish up our instructor skills in MyMathLab section here. So we'll go back over to MyMathLab from the home page. The next question is how to add extra time to an individual student's quizzes and tests when the disabilities office tells you that they get it. Alright, well in this case the best option is Assignment Manager. Click Quizzes and Tests, go to the first quiz, and you want settings per student. That's per student, go. Come up to the top tab here, pick the per student tab. In the drop down here, pick the name of the student that you want to do this for. Go. Now, I don't know why, but it always clicks back over to homework, so you'll have to pick quizzes and tests again at this point. And then add remove assignments. Click on the first one, Control Shift, or hold the Shift down, click on the last one, that'll highlight all of them. Add puts them over. Arrow down, go down and click OK. So all the quizzes and tests are listed. What will happen if you get an email from the disabilities office, it's usually the first week or sometimes even zero week before the first week, and it'll say time and a half or double time. So you come over here and you change the times. Now the one thing that's a little bit weird is that these little boxes here only show like 1 3/4 characters. So like the tests are 120 minutes, the zero is off the screen. So you got to click in there and get out to get to it, right? So it was time and a half. This one would get 180 minutes. It was double time. You change it to 240. You just go through all the little boxes there and edit all the times. Click update, and that's it. Takes about 3, maybe 4 minutes, and you've changed the times for all of the quizzes and tests for one student. All right. So that takes care of that one. How to submit scores of 0 for work that is not done. Okay. Well, this is back to the grade book. This is also known as managing incompletes, because here's a manage incompletes. Alright, so what I do first, we'll click submit current scores. The reason for that is every once in a while a student's assignment will get hung up right at the end when they submitted it. If you submit 0, it'll give them 0 for that. If you click submit current scores, it'll give them whatever score they earned for it. And if they don't have any work done for an assignment, it still gives them 0. So there's really the submit current scores is always the better option. Alright, so the whole reason that we even do this is because if a student has not done any work on an assignment, then that assignment is not included in their final grade. Okay? It'll list them here, like you see. This is finals weekend. Most of my students have done the review, though a lot of them haven't done the final yet. There's just 5 yet who have not done the review. It lists them. If I were to click here and then click submit, since none of them have started this, it would give them all zeros. Actually, I'm not sure if none will start. It's possible somebody's in the middle and hasn't hit the submit button yet, but whatever the situation, it'd give them zeros, or if they've got some work done, it'd give them credit for the work they've done, and then the rest it would give zeros. Alright, so you just check the box for the appropriate ones. Typically, after each quiz or test, typically I wait a week or so because there's people get extensions or whatever, and then I'll come in here and click the appropriate quiz or test, get the boxes, click submit, and that will give them zeros, which even if you later decide to let them go in and do it, the 0 shows them what their grade actually is with that assignment being skipped. So that's a good idea. Alright, that's that one. These two, number 10 and 11, really kind of go together. 10 is how to enable access when a student gets kicked out of a quiz or test, and 12 is how to delete a jam test or quiz. Really what's happened in either case, something has happened and they've been kicked out of a quiz or a test. Most of the time, I don't know, maybe 90%, you'll have the option, you'll be able to enable access and let them back in where they left off. When you can't do that, then that's when we're into option for number 12 here. Alright, so in this case, you'll grade book again. pick the student in question. Now, if a test is jammed or whatever, right in this area, it will say either access required or access needed, or it'll say incomplete. Most of the time it'll say access needed, and in that case you can reset. If it says access needed, it'll be in red, and in the box here you'd have a new option that said enable access. So you'd click on enable access, click go, it'll give them access. Depending on the situation at that point, don't forget sometimes you might need to use settings per student as well to extend the due date or something. Now, if you're not going to be able to do anything with it, it'll say incomplete. Okay, if it says incomplete, that means you can't reset it. Whatever happened. It went so wrong that the software couldn't even save where they were. Instead of change score here, it'll say submit score. Okay, or you can delete it. Those are your only options. You can work that out with the student. If you delete it, it doesn't actually delete the assignment. It just deletes their work, and it kicks the assignment back down to the bottom as a blank assignment that they haven't done any work in. All right. So you can delete it, and then again, like before, you might need to reset the time on it or the due date so they can get in and work on it. Either way, that takes care of these two. As I said, usually you will be able to enable access. The last thing we're going to talk about here is how to put a discussion board or project grades into MyMathLab. Alright, so let's say you've just finished grading a discussion board. You got all the grades into Blackboard, or a project if you're in a course that has projects. Actually, it's not Gradebook, it's Assignment Manager is the best option for this. Up here I would click DBs. If you're in a class that has projects, it'll say projects there. Come over and pick the drop-down box for the one you want. Change scores and go. What you'll see then, right, is each student and then these boxes, and you just type in a score and hit tab, type in, hit tab, type in, hit tab, and you just tab right down the screen. What I usually do is I have Blackboard open to my gradebook in one browser, and I'll open MyMathLab in the other browser, so I've got both windows open. I can see this grades and these boxes at the same time. I just roll right down and type them in. I'll go back through and double check carefully, click save, and that's it. It really just takes a few minutes. Alright, that is it for our Instructor Skills videos.